What's up, y'all? I'm PC McCray. You can call me P.
Hey, y'all. My name is Shaun the Head. You can call me Shaun the Head. And this is the Everything Has Changed podcast.
From two college roommates to 40-something adults, life has been lifing, and we want to talk about it.
We are the new adults, y'all.
How did that happen?
I don't know, P, but we got to talk about it.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Hey, Shaun, what up?
Hey, P. I'm
Hey,
here.
girl. Yeah. It's just one of them days. It's one of them days. Just one of them days.
Dang it, girl.
It's one of them days that you just say, God, I got questions.
God,
We need
step
to
to the
talk.
front of the room, please.
Come to the front, please. Step to the front.
We just got some questions. We just want to talk.
Just, hey, it's me again, God, your child. I come to you always. We come with grace and gratefulness, respectfully.
As you do.
But sometimes you just have to have a conversation.
I do a lot of yelling in my conversations, if that's
Yeah.
okay. Okay, yeah. I've already made the agreement, even though I can only hear myself. But we have touched and agreed that some days I just have to yell and scream and cuss.
Yes.
But God will understand.
He knows
what's
his
behind.
child.
Yeah, it's like, because I
you.
literally had to say, hey, can I? It wasn't can I, it was after I had a moment. And I was like, listen, it's going to come out harsh because I have to get it out of my body. And I feel like God can handle it. So I'm like, let me just say it. Okay, I'm upset. I have anger right now with you. Let's be clear. And I'm going to tell you why. And then once I get it all out, yeah, I'm like, all right, now, okay, thanks for listening. I'm just gonna assume you listened to all that. I hope that you got, what I was trying to say. But your girl needs some help. And maybe I just gotta say it a little louder. Oh, you can't hear me. How do you, is there any yelling? Do you ever find yourself yelling, P, or are you just like a good peaceful prayer person?
No, I have to, there are a lot of, now wait a minute. Now hold on. How strong do you need me to be? Because everybody's, he'll never put too much on you that you can't bear. And
Lies.
My shoulders are heavy. My back I am leaning over sometimes. And I'm like, well, God, can you just lift it up just a little bit up off me? It's tough having to be strong all the time and keep it together. So no, while I don't yell like that, I would be like, respectfully, what is going on? We gotta talk. Cause I don't understand. I'm trying to do things the right way.
Right.
I'm trying to act right, trying to be, but sir, talk to me.
Yeah, I have normal prayers, I guess. But yeah, I do sometimes have to just let some fly because I don't get it. And I know sometimes we're not supposed to get it. I believe in divine timing. I just feel like why sometimes divine timing look like it has to be 100%. Like, can I just get 10% until we just
Can you get a top off? Can you top me off just enough to keep me?
Is that not a thing? Or I thought maybe, you can do all things, so I thought that would be a thing. But, well, especially lately, I'm like, I'm sure not even the way it's supposed to go, but I'm like, hey, listen, I'm not even asking for, again, I do fully believe in divine timing. I'm just asking for something to hold me over, man. Now, I do get a lot of signs, and that's another thing that's frustrating because you get signs all day long. After a couple months, You're like, what the like
This
I'm
is
done with the sign.
mean.
I'm good. Yeah, like thanks, but no thanks. Like let's move on to the tangibles, right? To the tangibles now. No, I definitely lately I'm in a season of I just feel like I'm waiting on God. I a few years ago, I guess right after Granny died, that's when I figured out I was like, oh, I'm in the incubation season, the incubation period. That's cool. Now how long is supposed to last though? You know? Um like I had plans, right? I feel like there was this whole other life for me, right? I feel like I diverged and there's another me over there living the life that I saw for myself. And I'm just talking about me, myself. I don't mean like we talked before, like my vision for my daughter or whatever. I just mean like there were things I wanted to do. And that did not come to pass or have not come to pass or,
Yeah.
and yet, right. But it's like I'm 42. So any day now, let's get it cracking. I grew up having all these dreams and desires, and I always, of course, been a creative person. And I've been moving with those. I grew up being able to move with my dreams and desires. Like I had a mom who was with it, and I went to school, was able to move. It just felt like once I became an adult, it's when the ceiling started to press down on me. And then one day I woke up and realized, oh, I don't see how I'm gonna get there. Like I used to see how I was gonna get there, you know? And now I'm just like, I don't know. When I was coming up, I was always a writer. Like I was always an artist, but I was a
Always.
writer before I was an artist. And in fact, the only reason why I ended up in graphic design at FAM is I can't remember that lady's. Oh, I wish I could remember her name. It's gonna come to me. But when I got there, for some reason I thought we had mass communications, but they didn't. Like you had to pick one in J school,
Hmm.
right? You had to pick one. And I was like, oh wait, hold on, because I'm not prepared to pick. I was going for mass communications, right? I always wanted to do stuff like TV and production and stuff. And she was like, oh, it says here you like computers, you're an artist. Have you heard of graphic design? That's literally how I ended up going into
Yeah.
graphic design. I had never heard of it. I didn't know what, it was cool. I like it. I love it, but I started even freelancing in that when I was 18. I'm 42 now. And that's what I was doing for my job. But I always had in the back of my head, I had plans. I had plans, P. I was always writing. It's funny because actually I minored in magazine because at that time magazines were still out. They ain't really
Right.
out no more, right? But I was
Oh
that
my
kid.
goodness.
Yes, I had of course, yes, Essence Ebony, but me, I had the Source, I had XXL, I had Vibe, I had Vibe Vixen. Poor Granny. When I would go live with Granny every summer, and so I'm like, okay, let's transfer my subscriptions. I can't go 3 months without my Vibe. And so sometimes she would just like over the year, I would have some come, to mommy's house and some come to Granny and Papa's. So when I would get there, they would be stacked up. I thought I
Yes.
was going to go to New York and work for a magazine. I
Mm.
really did. That was what I wanted. So now when I can look and see Elliot Wilson on a podcast or Danielle Smith, who is his wife, but she was also the editor of one of the magazine. It might have been Vibe, whatever. They all met Torre. Man, I can just get on TikTok and look at Touré's face. That does my little young heart some good because those are the people that I look to coming up. And with Susan Taylor from Essence.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I thought she was so sophisticated, girl. I wanted to do all those things. And then I started learning about screenwriting. It was always writing for me. I was writing spec script. I was like, I'm going to LA. I'm going to be in a writer's room, all these things. Or I could stay here and write a movie and then go try to sell. I was doing all the things. Like I was the person who my friends would send to me like, oh, we see Nickelodeon got a program, send it to Shonda. We seen Disney got a program, send it to everybody was sending me all the things. Like I was the one, I was gonna go. It never happened. I even went to LA and I interned at Entertainment Television when I was in grad school. I had a ball in LA. Um, and when I was leaving, don't no judgment here, okay?
We
But when the
listen and we
creative,
don't judge.
okay, please, thank you. But the creative director asked me if I wanted to stay, and I said no. At E, I was in the on-air design department. I was doing the little chyrons in the corner. I worked on E True Hollywood Story. I worked on a Hillary Duff special. I still got the samples, like, cause I had such a great time. I told that lady, no, I said, no, I gotta go back to Atlanta. I gotta finish my degree because I was in grad school at SCAD.
Yeah.
Now we know that those were actually ended up being the last few years of mommy's life. So that's why I I did not think twice about it until I was back home like a year later. Like, I just told that lady. It was so, like, it was
My
funny though. It
dream.
was so easy. Like, I walked right in that, but I didn't even have to show them my work to get hired for that internship. It was crazy the way it all worked out. And they had me on shoots and stuff. I had the best time. And she was like, you want to stay? And I was like, no. But I'll be back. Listen, don't
Life.
ever think you, right. I was not
Life.
able.
Be life.
And after, yeah. Because soon as after mommy died, within a year, Granny was here. And then I was like, I can't move to California with Granny because
Right.
her dementia. And so then it's like, no, if she's still remembering people, then she need to be able to be around them all day, every day. I just didn't feel right going across the country with her and keeping her away from the family that she would remember, So it just seems like, I know I went on a tangent, yes I do, but it seems like my life now, when you look up and life has happened, it's like, oh, I missed my opportunity. So now what?
Or did you? Because it's not too late. You can write that movie. Start writing that script. You're in Atlanta. TP Studios is up the street.
Tyler Perry don't use writers. You know that.
I know. I'm just saying. But Atlanta is a hub for.
It's actually not what people think it is. I did do production work here as well, but what they do is they bring out all the like above the line people from LA and they come and live here for the months that they're shooting. And so they only hire like below, so like PAs and stuff. They don't hire past a certain point. They bring them with them from LA.
And getting that tax credit.
Now I was working for American Idol and I was doing PA work and it was different because that's clearly a reality based, but it was cool. And then they was like, but if we call you and you don't pick up, you're off the list. So everyone's like, why would we not pick up? It's great. They called me the week mommy died. Yep. That was the end of that.
But see, these are circumstances though, Shaun. It's nothing that you did, like you derailed your life because you just didn't care and you were just like, whatever. There were certain things that happened in your life that caused I'm going to say delayed yet not denied. Because as long as you have breath in your body, you can still do it. You can still try.
That's what makes it worse though, P, because I didn't have no control over those things. You see what I'm saying?
You had no control. That
right,
wasn't about
but that's
you.
what makes it worse. That's what makes it worse because that was my desires or whatever didn't mean anything to a certain point. Now, there's still I'm not saying past like today, but I would have wanted that before today. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
And then, with Teagues and what she needs, it's like I always end up in a situation where I just absolutely must be fully concerned with someone else's body and well-being. And I'm not necessarily saying above me, but I keep getting put in situations where I just have to be really considerate of another person. And first it was mommy, then it was granny, and now it's my daughter. And so it's like, what else you gonna do? You can't, but it also feels weird to say because I like the work that I do. I like my business, but in my head, I was like, I can do this from anywhere. I'll do this from California, and while I join the writers' room or whatever the case is. But I like my work. But you and I were talking just offline about the stressor. Like we have different stressors. That's not right. We both have these stressors, even though we have like two different type of work situations. So it's like,
because I'm in corporate 9 to 5, or when I in cyber, when I had shift work, my shift, I had a 9:30 p.m. to 8 a.m.
now how many days a week was that?
We would do 10, so 4 days.
Okay. Yeah.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the days off. But you got to sleep that other day, so really it's 2 days to try to catch up on some sleep. Forget about it if I had an appointment, doctor's appointments to do. Take care of dad, take care of mom during the day. It just was.
Yeah. Oh.
I was like a zombie. And then it would rotate. So then it would be a morning shift, let's say 7 a.m. to 5. That was okay. But they would just change it. And then now I'm in the 9 to 5 part. But the stress, it doesn't stop at 5.
Right.
Like it doesn't stop at 5, even though I want to slam my computer and throw it across the room. And so here we are on this adventure, this creative adventure. I'm finally leaning into my creative wants because I grew up with a mom and dad that was like, go to school, and what their options were what? Teacher, lawyer, doctor, pastor. It was certain things that they thought they could just do. And so both of my parents are educators. Mom was a speech pathologist and worked high school. Yes, with the babies, elementary, middle, and high school. And she would do her practice exams and test on me. I guess she said, let me make sure my child could talk before I'm out here teaching other people. And then dad was the housing director at UCF before he retired, but he was a history teacher.
Ooh.
And so they both were pushing me to education. And I'm an educator at heart. I did not want to be in the classroom, but I did start at the university higher ed level, like my dad. But my first session with my therapist that I have now, she punched me dead in the chest when she said, what? Because I explained how I grew up just now. And she says, it sounds like you've been doing everything somebody else wants you to do.
Yep.
What do you want to do? I had these dreams, but I've always been taught to be structured and have this job. So even us doing this project to me is, wow.
Does it bring up anything?
Does. It's like it's opening up something that I've had hidden for so long because I just didn't think it could be possible. But here we are doing this thing. And what I've been asking God, this is what I've been talking to him about. I was like, hey guys, me again. It's your girl. I took a boot camp and one of my cyber certificate boot camps. And when I tell you this, man, it was Monday through Friday. Class started at 8 to 5. 8:01 to 5:05. We would have like an hour break for lunch or whatever, and maybe a few breaks in between.
Okay.
That man talked about what he loved. He talked about cyber. And I mean, he was energized. He didn't sit down. He had his computer up. And so we would see him just walking back and forth as he's lecturing to us. And while it was so much information, it was exhausting because he just kept talking. But I just think, like, man, what can I talk about for 5 days? Because if we didn't ask questions or if we'd have breaks, he would have uninterrupted. He just knew his craft of being a cybersecurity professional. I went to the doctor the other day, my dermatologist, and she lit up with just talking about the different skincare options and what the new technologies and all the way she talked about it. And like, what is it that I can talk about that lights me up like that?
What
I
is
could
it?
talk. That's what I keep asking God. Lord, please reveal it.
Music.
Yes. Absolutely music. Absolutely. Here's my thing with that though. I don't have like talent. Like how would I make
No, that's not
a
true.
living? Like I don't play the instruments like I used to. The
Okay, stop
piano,
right now. Stop.
trumpet,
Stop it.
all that
Stop it.
stuff.
Stop
But I got
it.
the ear. I'm just saying.
But you
I got
you
the ear.
went straight to how do I make a living? That
Yeah.
is no,
That's
yeah.
the question.
No, that's not. It's the question is, what are you so passionate about that you could talk about for 5 days on end?
Hey friends, we're just getting this podcast going and we're so thankful for your support. If you want to be updated whenever we drop a new episode or when we drop some of the special things we've got coming, head on over to everythinhaschangedpodcast.com and drop us your email so you can stay locked in. Cool? Cool.
It's not, you see what I'm saying? I'm not
Yeah.
saying these aren't valid questions. I'm saying when that's your first question, that is an obstacle, a barrier that you now have to jump in your mind of the possibility, oh, it can't be because then I have to make this much in order to be able to sustain, and then I have to no. That's where you went wrong right there. We are supposed to be talking about what you're passionate about and what can fulfill you that you could talk to another person about for 5 days. We not talking about the making a living because then you're gonna go into like the whole starving artist,
And
motif. You see what I'm saying?
but I guess that's my fear. I'm like, wait a minute. The starving artist, whew. And that is the hurdle. That's the exact hurdle. And how you
And
redirected me back to the original question before I could even answer it, I'm like, no, wait, how can I make a living out of this thing?
it's a very normal thing, especially when you got your good job, you know what I mean? You're a 9 to 5, it stressed you out, but it's steady and you know when the money coming in and you got benefits and you got your insurance. And I'm just here to tell you, when you are an entrepreneur, none of that. Absolutely none of that. And depending on how the industry is going, it's for a lot of people, it's a roller coaster. It's high highs and low lows. But when you're coming from a place like that where there's a comfort there, especially the older we get and the longer that we're in these environments.
Yeah.
And so it's like the older that we get, you're like, when am I going to do it? Or am I going to try? I could try. But should I try or am I too old to try? Like we were just talking about. But the longer you stay in it and thinking in that, then the longer that you're not even giving it a shot. But giving it a shot don't mean, 100%, let me just quit and go. You can be the starving artist while you're working your 9 to 5. You know what I mean?
Which is what we're doing now with this. I'm not quitting my job while we're working on this podcast, but we know
Yeah. And
that
then, but a
we want it
podcast
to
is
go
also,
places.
we want it to go places, but it's also there's more to do if it's going to be a business model. Do you just see what I'm saying? So I do
Correct.
think a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to do this or that, and then it may turn into this or that. Actually, it has to be a business, model behind it, or you got to figure out your messaging, what your framework is, and how are you going to get the traffic there? What are your traffic sources? This is like when people want you to build a website. It's a beautiful website. And then they think that's it. Oh, that's not it. We ain't even started yet. Now you got to get the traffic there. You got to get the marketing.
Yeah.
You got to get boots on the ground. And so when you are in a space where you're working for yourself or building something for yourself, everything is the time or money. So it's like, how much time do we have to spend to get it there and build it there? Or how much money do we have to get it there? Which is paying for help and accountability and team and ads, all those things. Lots of different options, but it's like at the end of the day, you got time or you got money. So while you're working in a job, like I was saying before, if you start feeling yourself like, okay, let me think on building something for myself. Let me think on building a brand, or let me think on building a podcast, or let me think on whatever. If you still working a job, that means your job can now be your business loan. And so in that way, you can switch the perspective a little bit. Like, it's not holding you back. It's now helping you. Because again, it's either time or money. You going to spend your time at that 9 to 5. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you'll have a little more time, nights and weekends, especially when you're building. Sometimes you do have to sacrifice and, let me take a lunch break here and work on something instead of, whatever the case. But everybody has to do it. And it's like you do the hard work once and then you keep pushing forward. But I just feel like, because I did notice, especially since the pandemic, a lot of my clients were starting to become corporate women or women who are working in more traditional structures. And then more running to now bring that online because, hello, online traffic doubled and tripled once
Yes.
everybody had to go sit at the house, right? So everybody's like, well, I'm at the house. At least I can be working on thinking on something. And then when they say, oh, you got to come back to work, it's like, wait a minute. Let me work on, my own thing. So I noticed a difference in the type of clients that started to walk through the door, But then I also noticed the same type of obstacles and barriers to it. Working in those environments, it does a number on your psyche. And it's the exact opposite way that you want to think when you're starting and doing your own thing. Because when you're working, you got to be a good team player. You got to follow rules well. You got to learn the playbook, learn the blueprint, execute well. Maybe you're managing a team and you have to be this way with them. And the corporate language, we have a corporate language and we have, our own mission statement. When you're building your own brand or your own business or your own podcast, now your job is to stand out. So then people come out and they're like, okay, so at the job, I was doing this, so I'm going to do this because this is what I saw, the big bosses do. So I'm going to just do that in my way. And I'm going to get out here and I'm going to speak and I'm going to be professional. People are going to take me seriously. If you are that professional, people are going to scroll right past you because they off work. They don't want to see no more of that.
Right. They
want
to
to
work
see
all day.
Exactly. They want some personality. They want to be able to relate with you. So then that means you have to bring your story, all these other kinds of things that you don't have to think about at all when you're at work. At work, you're here to do a job that they give you. Yeah. And you do your job, you cross your T's, dot your I's, and we're good. That's literally 5% probably of being an entrepreneur.
You're supposed to not show up fully. Like you're supposed to leave your story and all that stuff.
Yes, P.
Behind when you're at work. Whereas here in a creative space, you got to bring all of you. Or at least bring all of you.
Exactly. And even then, sometimes people just like, I'm just turn the camera on, I'm gonna go. And that's great. It actually is great, honestly, to just get started, because a lot of people have a fear of being online or being on social media or talking or whatever.
Yes.
So it is very, very, very helpful for you to start to get that under your belt. I would, though, like people to know that there's a lot of strategy behind these things that you don't see. That's another thing. I think people think it's going to be one way, and then they jump in, and it's actually hard work and structure and commitment and intention, but just on a different dynamic. So then they be like, oh, I'm not cut out for this. No, it's not that you're
You
not
waiting
cut
on
out
that
for it.
viral moment. Yeah.
That viral moment when you working for yourself, it's only you. You look around the room and it's you
It's just you.
until you go get, some help, right? Or coach or something even. So anyway, like, yeah, if I could tell anybody anything just starting out, I will say this, because I'm very much about you and your strengths and your qualities and not what everybody else is doing. So like, if you're like, hey, I'm a great writer, but I'm not going to be good on camera or whatever, then it's like, cool, let's figure out a way for you to get your message across in your writing and email marketing per se, instead of you showing up on IG Live every single day, right? But you will have to be challenged and stretched. So if you don't want to be challenged and stretched, maybe don't make that jump just quite yet, because it's going to challenge you and it's going to stretch you and it's going to end up working out in the end. But I remember somebody texting me one day, like, is it supposed to feel like this? Like, it's supposed to be this hard? Like, it's the hardest
Yes.
thing you can do. You're not getting paid unless you go out and bring money in the door, right? You're not getting a paycheck from up on high. It's very hard. So as long as you know that it's hard and you want to choose that hard, then it's like, cool, let's get it. But if you are just out there right now and you ready to start something, start a podcast or write a book or whatever, I would just say to you, whatever your strengths are, play those things up and get your messaging together. You get your messaging together, you don't even need a website to sell if your message is right. That's what I would focus on and be working on your nights and weekends and your lunch break. And then when you're ready to leave, you can, you know what I'm saying, you use your business loan and get your pockets to a certain amount, so then you can leave when you want to leave.
And throw
How about
up
that,
the
P?
deuces. When I tell you I will throw this computer like a frisbee.
Don't
Oh,
do
I
that.
would.
You're going to need your computer.
No, not my personal, the work computer.
You or your work
Both
computer.
of them.
Don't,
All of
please,
them.
please don't
I want to
trash
throw
them people's stuff.
them like a frisbee.
You come back. Oh, no, that's a
No,
boomerang. Let me
that's
stop.
boomerang. No, frisbee just
Let me
go,
stop.
just take it off.
Yeah.
Well. Here's my question and challenge to you. You just said everything. How are you gonna do it, ma'am? It's not too late.
The only thing is, for what I want to do, I have to physically move there. And that's not something I can do.
In the writer's room. Because what do you
Yep.
want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want
I
to do?
always wanted to, when I was younger, when I was doing all this screenwriting, I wanted to be in a writer's room. All the writer's rooms are in LA. Now, over COVID, they started having them virtually. I don't know if they kept them virtual, but I do know there were some writers who were living, like new writers too. I don't want to say new, because a lot of times they will even hire you, like if you've written a book and things like that. Like, it really just depends on your expertise. I'm telling you, I was studying all that stuff. I was all my podcasts was only screenwriting and production stuff. Like, I was so serious about. But it was even less production, and it was more, in TV, the writers are the producers. So as you move up in the writer's room, you move up to story editor and producer levels and go up like that. So I don't know if they're still doing virtual. I know there were a few writers' rooms that ended up being virtual because of COVID, but a lot of people were already still living in LA. But I know there were some people that were living like Midwest and stuff, and they were still able to do that. I don't know if they That was literally the only time I've ever heard of them doing virtual writers' rooms. The only difference outside of LA is in New York. I think there's some the soap operas. I think their writers' rooms are in New York, but it's LA.
When was
Now,
the
if I was
last time you
writing a
wrote something?
movie, that would be different. Wrote something like screenplay
Screenplay,
wise or like writing, because I write anyway.
poem,
Oh,
something
a
that
couple weeks
is
ago.
like a screenplay, TV. When's the last time you wrote one?
Well, I haven't written a spec script in a minute,
Okay.
but I've started back writing other stuff, like writing my poetry and stuff, because I was supposed to do a book of poetry. I actually have all the poems, so I could put it together in book. But then it's you know what it is, P. And I
What
know a
is
lot of people are like this, and I also know like ADHD is like this. But I've also been really, really. That's the thing that hurt. Since I was young, I've been such a creative. I grew up dancing, but then I also grew up writing, and I grew up painting. And I've had to work in museums and stuff. And when was I in my 20s then? I think I was in my 20s when we started Rhapsody. I wrote a musical. The musical went for like 4 seasons, I think. It was sold out. And then I
Wow.
produced The Wiz here in Atlanta for a few seasons, and we sold out. Like it, I have always been several different types of creative. So at one point, they're like, you pick one thing and go with it because you got a niche. Or on the other hand, it's like, no, some of us are actually put here and meant to do several things.
What is it? Multi-hyphenated.
Yeah, like, and especially that was something that I took on when I started doing my strategy work. That was one way that I separated myself from other people, because everybody's like niche down, niche down, niche down. I'm like, that's great, but let's figure out how your entire brand works together as a system. Because if you anything like me, you got this piece, this piece, this piece, this piece, this piece, this piece, this piece. What do all those pieces say about you? Versus me coming in telling you, you know what? You know who makes a lot of money? Wedding photographers. You should do that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Ooh.
no, let's look at all the different pieces that make you you. And so that's what I'm saying. I do have this background where I've done a lot of things. And then there was a point where it just like, hey, right there. It's like, I know I'm meant to write a book. I know I'd love to get back into, play. Actually, what I'm working on right now, because I think I was telling you before, just my stress level and the way I started just trying to be creative again, because I realized that I had kind of cut that part. I forgot I was an artist, P.
Yeah.
I forgot I was an artist. Like, once my business got going, I was businessing, okay? And I thought that was good enough, because I'm like, there's artsy and creative things in the work that I do. I'm a copywriter, and I'm building the funnels, all those things. But it didn't fulfill. Those are still kind of structured. I used to be so fulfilled.
That's a word.
And when I thought on it, and you know how I got there? There's this book called The Artist's Way. Oh, look at The Artist's Way, P, by Julia Cameron. All of a sudden, I forget. Like, it's literally my favorite book right now.
Yeah, The Artist's Way.
The Artist's Way, okay. If
Julia
anybody
Cameron.
is an artist, actually, let me scratch that, because this book helps you even if you feel like you're not a creative. This book is supposed to be, I think, a 12-week course. I'm so sorry. I can't even give a good breakdown of it right now. I'm gonna have to put it in the show notes, because I can just tell you how it made me feel. And it's 12 weeks. Every week, they give you questions and they give you exercises so you can like get back to your creativity, get back into you. And she makes you do morning pages, which is where you journal every morning, 3 pages. What it's supposed to do is it's supposed to get the stuff out of your head, the gunk out of your head, so that you can go through your day freer and more able to think clearly and be inspired by all these things. And she makes you take yourself on artist dates every week, which can be anything. It can literally be anything. And so I was doing this book, last year, top of the year. And I realized, I was like, oh, I had all these hopes and dreams and things that I wanted to do and that I was actively doing. And it stopped when mommy died. A part of me walled off my childhood. It walled off everything up to 31 because she was my support system, yes, but she was my cheerleader. She was my road dog. I had a mother who allowed me to just be. And I know she did tell me, like, she grew up differently. With Granny, like, they were very structured and stuff.
Yeah.
And she was just free with me. She was like, hey, like, I didn't even have a curfew. Now, first of all, I was a good kid. Now, had I messed up,
Right.
hey, I wouldn't have had a curfew.
Child.
But mommy was like, I'm going to give you this trust. But she also knew her child. And she knew because my dad was an artist. He was a painter. And it was very clear that was in me. I was the one who got that. So she supported me across the board, everything. When she died, it feels weird to say I had to hurry up and grow up because I was 31. But honestly, in my head, I wasn't 31. I ain't even 31 in my head right now, I'm being honest.
Hello?
But I had to hurry up and grow up. I had to figure out, okay, now I'm in charge of everything. And then Granny came immediately after. And I just realized last year when I was going through this book, like, I forgot I wanted to do that. I forgot this and that. And I forgot, like, there's a clothing line I wanted to do. I wanted to write a book. I wanted to write more plays. I forgot everything. And I was like, how did I forget? Then I was starting to remember things. Like, I was like, I used to be fascinated with Elvis for some reason. Like, it just popped in my head where they like, when I tell you I couldn't remember my child, I didn't realize I could not remember anything. I walled everything off because it was just me and mommy. I have an older brother, but he was out of the house by the time I was really coming up and able to remember shit. Mm-hmm. I walled everything off when she died. So now, because of this book, The Artist's Way, right now, I said that this year for me, we talked before, what's your word of the year? My word's alignment. But this year for me, what self-love looks like for me is going to be all about my inner child and healing my inner child because she got damaged and I didn't know she was damaged. I thought she was fine because I made it here. I have a business. I was making good money. I thought she was cool. She was not cool. And she started knocking like, hey, girl, let
Little
me up out
Shonda
this
was like, hold
basement.
on. Yes.
Yes. It's crazy, Pete. It's crazy how much I forgot. God, like I wanted to have stationery because I love the smell of paper. So I love to walk in a bookstore or walk in the post office. I forgot all these little things that things used to light me up. I had got to a point, it was hard pressed to light me up.
I just want to say, we don't have video yet. It's coming. But you just talking about this, you're smiling, friend. Your face is lighting up as you are naming all of these things that you enjoy and that brings you joy. So it's there. It's bubbling up. It's coming. So Lil Shonda, you two, we're gonna have to come together.
Yeah, it's this year to me, because I know I haven't been loving on myself, and in therapist, I was like, well, what did you do for yourself? Like, I can't get out the house because I got this child on my hip and she needs X, Y, Z, her therapy and all this stuff. And then one day, when I was in art school, I was like, wait. If I can't do nothing else, I can make my inner child happy. Like, I can go watch this movie. I can watch this documentary. Ooh, I love me a documentary about an artist. What? Like, I get so inspired from those things. So anyway, that was a tangent from when I was saying that I've actually gotten back into the writing of plays and stuff. And it's funny, Peter, you talk about you not having quote unquote talent. Because I definitely rolled my eyes when you said that. Because from the moment I met you, like, you have always been the person to teach me a whole bunch of stuff about music that I did not know. And I remember that you wanted to be a music supervisor and all that. And that was the first time I heard that term and all that. But it's like, I don't know how to write music either, but one of the other things I always wanted to be was a songwriter. And I was like, I write poetry,
You
like
write it.
put it to some music. So anyway, what's crazy is I'm working on a musical right now. And
I love it. I love it.
first
I
of
love
all,
it.
Lin-Manuel was working on Hamilton for 7 years. So
Yeah.
check me out in 7 to 10 years. But I started studying Sondheim and I got all these books and stuff. I started going back to the library, got a library card. I just trying to make myself happy. Cause it's like clearly God is doing his thing. Ain't let me in on it yet. Okay. Ain't let me in on
Like,
it yet.
can you give me a hint, please?
Please. But I can go do these artist dates. You see what I'm saying? And I can make myself happy doing these things and remembering these things about myself that I forgot. And I felt so bad for forgetting. But life, it I had to get through the past decade. Oh my God. It's I had to. So I had to give myself grace. I had to give myself grace. So this year, if you see me outside and I'm like skating down the street or something wild, look, the girl just
Yes.
her inner child. She's just healing her inner child. She's just trying to. If I'm like rolling in the grass making snow angels or something next time it snows, it's just me trying to become one with my inner child. Okay.
And that's the truth. And that's what you need. I'm looking at this book. I'm gonna get it actually. Creativity is God's gift to us. That's one of the steps
It's
there. That's one
so
of the core
good.
principles.
It's so, and you do not have to think of yourself as an artist to get stuff out of this book. The morning pages alone will change your life. Somebody was on Threads the other day, like, oh, I keep hearing about this book, The Artist's Way, in the morning pages. And I don't even know this girl. I was like, hey, girl, all I can tell you is
Do it.
the manifestations was coming off the page. Like, it's just supposed to be a dump. After a few days of doing it, I felt different. And let me go on back. I need to go on back and do it again. Because people will do it over and over again. And every time you do it, you learn something else about yourself. I was telling my friends, like, this is kind of like the most work I've done on myself freely, like outside of therapy, is this book. And you don't have to see yourself as an artist. Creativity is so many different things. It could be cooking, it could be baking, it could be all these different things. But this book will help you. Even I think if you're feeling real ho-hum, about life, or what does life have for me? What does God have for me? Whatever the case. And she puts a lot of, if you're Christian and you connect more with that kind of stuff too, she puts scripture and everything in there. Like, she's like, hey, I'm going to show you every bit of evidence that I can that creativity is like a part of your spirituality. It's a part of your spiritual way of being. And she's like, even in the Bible, they speak to it, right? She gives you all of that. It's
that
so
flicker,
good, P. I'm
light that flame in you.
I'm excited for you, P. If you're gonna I'm excited. We'll have to check back. We'll have to do a check back in on another episode.
We will. We both have an assignment.
Yeah. No, I'm the book is next to my bed right now. So
yes, we both have an assignment.
It kept me sane last year.
We will come back to it. But I want to say this. I listened to Pastor Howard John Wesley out of Alfred Street Baptist Church in Alexandria, Virginia. I watch his sermons. I listen to everything. I'm doing Seek now. But one of his sermons, he says, God says, I'll close a door no one can open, and I'll open a door no one can close.
Now, wait a minute. Hey.
Let me say it again.
No. That's Fawn Weaver. That's what I was telling you earlier. He said me in prayer.
Yeah, well, they got the same prayer. He said this. This was his February 2nd, 2014. What does God want me to do? That was the name of his sermon.
That alignment right there.
Girl.
Now, you see, me and you was just an hour ago,
here.
Right?
I wrote it down, and I keep looking at it, and I stare at it, and I think about it, especially when I get angry or frustrated. Like you said, when you have like, look, Jesus, what is going on? And I come back to, I'll close a door no one can open, and I'll open a door no one can close.
Yeah. Let me tell you why this is crazy. Because before we started recording, I was telling P that I wanted to tell her about this prayer that Fawn Weaver says. Now, do you know who Fawn Weaver is, P?
What
From
is it?
Uncle Nearest.
Yes,
Have you
Uncle
read the book?
I have not.
She owns the Uncle Nearest brand. She's a Black lady that has taken the brand to like over 1 billion valuation. She's the face, but she's also the owner, the CEO, and she has like an all-woman team. Amazing Black lady, and she has a book called Love and Whiskey. So if you've heard about Uncle Nearest probably over the past couple years, then you may have also heard about the book that she wrote, which talks about how she found out about his legacy and then went about to build it into what it's about in today. And she has this prayer. Oh, not even she has this prayer. I was telling P, I wanted to talk to her about the prayer. It's the exact same prayer that P just read from that pastor from 13. When we talk about alignment, P didn't even know that. P did not know that that was the
No.
prayer that I was talking about. And so Fawn, and she's very big, on her spirituality, and she's always getting on social media and talking to people. If you ever get a chance to hear her speak or watch one of her interviews, maybe I think we'll link one in the show notes for you if you want to check that out. She's amazing. But she has been very clear. She's like, this is the prayer that I live my life by. Lord, open the door so that no man can close it. If this is for me, open this door so that no man can close it, including myself. And if it's not for me, close the door so that no man can open it, including myself.
That's it.
But it's just, P, if they could see me right now with my...
Her hands are on her head.
crazy, P.
We
It's the
are in
same exact...
alignment. That is
Yeah,
the
she
universe
calls it the
answering
box
us.
me in. She calls it the box me in prayer. But it's what that pastor, it's the exact same wording. And she says this is how she lives her life. So she's like, that's how, if people always ask me, how am I able to move forward so steadfastly and seemingly so confident and all this stuff? She's like, if the door's open, I'm walking through it because God opened it for me and we have an agreement, right?
That's it.
We spoke we spoke about God being faithful to the agreement. She said, me and God have an agreement. If the door's open, that means he opened it. Because if it was, I wouldn't be able to walk through. If it wasn't for me, I wouldn't be able to walk through. I would be stopped. If I hadn't been stopped yet, I'm just going to keep walking. Because it's for me. I am blown away right now. I think I needed that today because I was having a day. I was yelling in my car as I sat in the pouring rain for an hour to try to pick my child up. I was having a day. And that's good, P. I can't. I'm shook it. I am shook it.
That's a
I
message
need
for
that because,
you
yeah,
and me
girl.
and
And
our
I
listeners.
say that prayer every single day ever since she said it. Ever since I heard her say it the first time. She says it a lot. And you've been listening to and saying that prayer probably from even before that. Oh my God. That is good.
When I'm stressed at work,
good.
and I'm like, now what am I doing here? What am I doing here?
Yeah.
Well, you allowed it to happen, God. I mean, I applied, sure, but if you didn't want me to be in this position, you'd have closed the door.
God said, that's your business loan. He said,
it's my business loan.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I got to do what I got to do. Let me put my head down, do what I have to do, because we are opening up our creative pathways.
Flow, yeah. And if anybody's listening, if you're wondering, especially after last episode, if you're wondering, Phyllis will be available for speaking opportunities and keynote speeches and fireside chats and, emceeing your event, because P got a message to share. And, if you haven't listened to episode 7 just yet, what's called, is there a brochure for this? It's so good. P is talking about, let me just take a second to big you up, P. P is talking about how she learned to live while her body was dying. Okay. It's such a special episode. But I know that one of the things that P has in front of her is that she's going to be sharing her message. So just FYI, that'll be coming soon as well, because we working on some things, huh, P?
We're working
Yeah,
on it.
I'm gonna put your business out there. P is working on her speaking consultancy. So holla at your girl. We'll let y'all know when it's up. Sorry, P, I took over for you.
No, I mean, put it out there. Let's put
Yeah.
it into
We've
existence.
announced. That's
And-
what we're believing for.
And that's for anybody today as we wrap up. Like today was just one of them days for both of us. And we came into recording was like, yo. And look what God did.
And so there's this quote. If you are anyone, if you're in business for yourself, or if you're aspiring to be, or if you're sitting in your cubicle just trying to get through. Jay-Z said, the genius thing we did was that we didn't give up. That seems to be one of the answers to everything.
Don't give up.
You just don't give up. It's all hard, right? Don't give up. You can take a pause if you want to. You can pivot. But the only way we're going to get through this thing, don't give up.
Don't give up. Keep going.
Keep going. And pray that, look, from me and P, pray that box me in prayer, because it's a P, I cannot believe that happened. That's crazy.
It's God.
It's God, man. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord. Ended on that.
Come talk to us. You can reach me at Better3701 on Instagram. Ask us the questions. Leave some voice notes. Tell us what you think.
I am at Hey Shaun the Head on Instagram and Threads. The podcast is on Instagram at the Everything Has Changed podcast. And check the show notes. If you want to join the conversation, like P just said, you can leave us a voice note, ask us questions, give us guidance, comments on prior episodes, and we may include you on future episodes. So we've got it listed in the show notes. So check that out if you want to join us in conversation.
We thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Want to stay locked in with us so you never miss an episode? Visit everythinghaschangedpodcast.com and join our email list. That way you'll be the first to know about new episodes and all the fun stuff we have coming your way. Meet us over there.